Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30. Getting results. Thanks for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Lisa Bell in for Ginger.
And I'm Justin Mormouth. We do want to start with the weather tonight, so let's get over to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas, pinpointing your evening. Got a few downpours out there, Jonathan?
Yeah, guys. We talked about this a lot last week, that we were kind of all filled in on the radar last week. If you had evening plans to go outside and you really couldn't do much outside last week, big change tonight, although we are still dealing with a few showers and thunderstorms, really just downpours, no lightning being picked up on our lightning detection system. That's a couple of downpours east of Orlando now. These are pushing into eastern Seminole, in eastern Orange, Titusville, and Mims. We were talking about you guys tonight, just some light rain now pushing into Titusville. Mims, we are still dry. Edgewater, we really need to dry out after a very wet weekend, really on Saturday. We are going to do that for the most part, other than a few stray showers sneaking through over the next hour or two. 77 in DeLand, we're at 77 in Sanford as well. There's some of that rain-cooled air. We had some heavier downpours overhead just about an hour or two ago. 80 degrees in Daytona Beach. We're at 89 in Kissimmee, where we have not had the rain just yet. Again, rain chances for the back half of the evening drop considerably, just holding on to a stray storm really east of I-4, east of Orlando, closer to the Space Coast over the next hour or two. Temperatures holding steady in the mid-70s overnight. We're going to pinpoint when storms fire up again tomorrow and let you know who has the best shot to get wet again tomorrow afternoon, coming up at about 6:47, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Turning now to our top story of the day, the latest on the apparent assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump.
The latest update came down earlier with the FBI saying that even though the investigation is still in its early stages, the suspect in custody is facing several felony charges. News 6 anchor Eric Von Aken is in Palm Beach County following the aftermath of the latest.
The road leading up to the main entrance here at the Trump International Golf Club has now been reopened tonight, just about an hour and a half after the press conference down the street at the West Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, when we heard both from the FBI and the Secret Service revealing that the main suspect, Ryan Ruth, they say never had a direct line of sight with his rifle anyway to the former president here at the golf course yesterday. But he got close, within a few hundred yards. The spot where the Secret Service says Ryan Ruth was camped out with backpacks, a GoPro camera, and a rifle with a hunting scope is known for photographers trying to get a picture of the former president, according to a former deputy director of the Secret Service and CBS News consultant.
This area where the individual was is sometimes used by the press to try to get a shot or a photograph of the former president when he's playing.
We're taking a drive around the outer edge of the golf course. In fact, that's it, right on the other side of the bushes. Essentially, it's been plopped down into the middle of these residential neighborhoods. So these main streets surround the perimeter of the entire golf course. The only thing that separates the streets and the public from the course are those bushes and a fence. The chain link fence surrounds the entire golf club, but other than that, there's nothing to stop anyone from pulling over on the side of the road, walking across the sidewalk, going up through the bushes, and sticking the barrel of a gun through the fence.
Keep walking!
About 50 miles north of the West Palm Beach Golf Club, the Martin County Sheriff says they pulled over and arrested Ruth in his Nissan SUV that a witness spotted leaving the golf course.
Cellular data shows that the subject was in the vicinity of the golf course roughly 12 hours before the engagement with the United States Secret Service.
Ruth was in federal court this morning charged with only possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and destroying the serial number on that firearm. He will stay in custody at least until his next court date next week. We also learned during this afternoon's press conference that Ryan Ruth lived in Hawaii. Most recently, according to the FBI, they are now checking with all of his contacts and colleagues there, including friends and family right now. They're trying to interview them. Besides that, they say that he was arrested and charged and convicted in 2002 for possessing a weapon of mass destruction. No details on what that weapon was. For now in West Palm Beach, Eric Von Aken getting results. News 6.
And of course, this is the second time this year that former President Trump has been the target of gun violence. At a July rally in Pennsylvania, investigators say 20-year-old Thomas Crooks fired shots at Trump from the top of a building across the lawn. Crooks was quickly killed by the Secret Service, though Trump had already been hit in the ear. That attempt raised questions about the Secret Service's protection of the former president. Some officials believe that they could have noticed Crooks and stopped it beforehand. In a press conference held within the last 2 hours, the FBI and local law enforcement officials discussed yesterday's apparent murder attempt, praising how law enforcement officers responded.
Now at 6:30, here's a live look over Daytona Beach, where the Volusia County community is rallying around a surfer tonight, fighting for his life after a bad accident last week. Volusia Beach Safety says it happened on Friday next to the Sun Glow Pier in Daytona Beach Shores. Lifeguards say the 49-year-old man sustained a head injury before crashing into the pier and getting caught on a piling. News 6's Molly Reed today spoke with one of his closest friends about the help they are trying to get him.
George is the embodiment of the phrase, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine."
George Alvarado is a staple in the Volusia surfing community.
He has this jovial spirit and makes fast friends with everyone. He's kind of like all the community youngsters. He's almost like their uncle or second dad or something.
Two of his closest friends, Chris Chabarro and Brian Holmes, are among those now standing by George's side in the hospital.
The biggest thing, or the most important thing, is that he's alive, he's strong, and he's fighting.
We've all taken hundreds of falls like this, and some of us have had close calls, rubbing into the bottom a few times, but you really have to fall just right to have an injury like this.
Volusia Beach Safety says on Friday morning, George was surfing next to the Sun Glow Pier here when he went underwater, likely hitting his head on the sand or a sandbar. They say he was held underwater and then wrapped around a piling on the pier. It took other surfers, a restaurant employee, and other bystanders several minutes to free him.
I know that a busboy, Sam, saw him and was really active, and there were a few people right on scene who got to him and bravely went out there to try to get him out. And as soon as they got him out on the water, Volusia County was here and went to work right away. Whenever you have something that you do that has an inherent risk, whether it's motocross, whether it's fishing offshore, whether it's surfing, you know, everybody kind of looks out for each other because we have to. And, you know, here more than ever, it's family.
George is now in the intensive care unit on life support. This GoFundMe has been set up for him. He is a father and grandfather, but is like family to many.
George is fighting. Even if you don't know him, we're going to ask you to fight for him too. Yeah. We love you, George, so much, and we love your family, and the whole world's pulling for you, I promise.
We're going to get you back in the water soon, buddy.
In Daytona Beach Shores, I'm Molly Reed, getting results, News 6.
Well, if you have not heard, WKMG is hitting the road to Melbourne, a city that's part of one of the fastest growing regions in the entire country. And a big reason for that population boom, a growing economy. The aerospace and defense jobs that are being created at Melbourne Orlando International Airport especially, it's become a major hub for those kinds of companies. And the mayor says that growth has brought some new people and pumped some new life into his hometown.
Again, this is all will be redeveloped.
When Mayor Paul Alfrey looks over Melbourne, he sees a city on the rise.
Years ago, we were called Melbourne. There was nothing to do. There was no good job. So when you grew up, you kind of moved away from here.
Alfrey is Harbor City born and raised. We met up with him at Pineapple's restaurant to talk about how his once sleepy town is now part of one of the fastest growing regions in the country.
You see a lot of people moving here because they like the weather, they like the beaches, they like the small town feel, but they like to be close to Orlando or 3 hours away from Miami. So it's a really good place to live.
But that success also comes with challenges like traffic and keeping up with the city's aging infrastructure. The mayor admits managing growth without raising taxes is a top priority.
We have the lowest tax millage in 10-year history. So not only are we investing in our community and our infrastructure and our parks and our playgrounds, but we also have low taxes. So you put all that together, it's very attractive for people.
The boom happening at Melbourne Orlando International Airport is another catalyst. Its growing campus of aerospace, defense, and manufacturing companies draws more than 20,000 employees to MLB every single day.
You see the L3 Harris and you see Grumman and all those. They're good paying, high paying jobs. And we have so many young engineers looking for places to live. They're looking for places to shop, places to eat. So they want to live in a community too that's vibrant.
Some of that vibrancy can be found in historic downtown Melbourne, the charming district home to nearly 300 unique shops and restaurants.
Melbourne has another downtown. We're in now, downtown O'Galley, and it's the Arts District. And you see it's a very vibrant at night, walkable. We're building a nice parking garage right there.
Capitalizing on Brightline's growing popularity is something else Alfrey has his eyes on. Of course, the high-speed trains already roll through Melbourne, but could a stop be in the city's future?
I foresee one in the future at our airport. We are the economic hub of Brevard County. Why wouldn't you have one here?
That does seem to make a whole lot
Why
of
not?
sense.
Why not? Especially considering, earlier this year, Brightline announced plans to have a stop in Cocoa, which is about 25, 30 miles away from Melbourne. So, yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense also to have it at the airport. I mean, the airport's growing not just for those defense and manufacturing companies and aerospace companies, but just passenger traffic as well. It makes a lot of sense. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, a lot of people, I mean, you can get some great flights out of the Melbourne airport, and you don't have to deal with the crowds, which is so nice.
It's great. It's great. And we're going to be having stories like this as part of our Hits the Road series. We're going to be broadcasting all evening from Melbourne on Wednesday, so come out and join us at Squid Lips on Pineapple Avenue from 4 until 7 p.m. We hope to see you out there. All right, let's take a look at what's trending right now on Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com. Pom Pom's Tea House, a staple in the Milk District for nearly 2 decades, is unfortunately closing. The cafe's owner said their last day will be Friday, October 4th. She told us she plans to open a new concept soon, but didn't share where that will be or when that could open. But they will certainly be missed for as long as they were there. We both
love it, yeah. And basically the owner's saying she just kind of wants to do something new and different. But a lot of people are going to miss that.
Yeah, the Thanksgiving, I mean,
so good.
That is top-notch sandwich right there.
Don't even want to talk about it right now because it's making me hungry. Here are some of the other top stories online right now. A man is being charged with driving under the influence for operating an excavator while drunk. The Flagler County Sheriff's Office says they were called to a scrapyard in Bunnell after a man was getting into arguments and threatening people while operating heavy machinery. We posted the body cam video on our website. And finally, you can still enter to win 4 tickets to Howlo's Scream at SeaWorld. News 6 Insiders, you can enter as many times as you want now through September 29th. And if you're not an insider, it is free to sign up.
Still ahead, we're checking in on the Lake Mary Little League All-Stars, the reward from the governor for making all of Florida proud. You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results for all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Monday evening traffic alert and starting the week off strong, so please get ready for some heavy construction north and southbound along 417 out in the Narcoossee Lake Nona area, and then we will see some shutdowns out here overnight. Scheduled every night this week along 429 in the Florida Turnpike. 429 southbound scheduled to be closed tonight right around 9 o'clock, and you'll be required to exit at State Road 50. They've been good at opening this up on time, though, so just be careful. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 traffic alert. Drive safely, and I'll catch you in the morning.
All right, taking a live look now over downtown Orlando from the Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. A little dark out there, and yeah, sure, the sun's setting, but those look like rain clouds.
I would concur to that.
Especially with what you see on the radar, Jonathan.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, it's not as widespread, but as you can clearly see, we do have something going on out there, and it's mainly east of the city. That's where the sky cam is pointed tonight, where we have a few of those downpours out there. Not too widespread. So we do have evening plans that you'll be drier the further west of the Orlando metro you are. We'll get you right to the radar, and you'll see what we're talking about. Just some itty-bitty guys, but certainly it is dark out there. There's that lone speck that we're looking at here in East Orange County, just to the east of downtown Orlando. Some of the relatively speaking bigger stuff working on fizzling out as it comes into Titusville, as it moves to the east of Deltona, closer to Geneva as well. That green line you see right there, that's an interesting little feature on the radar. That's called an outflow boundary. It's the rain-cooled air. It's the cooler air rushing out of the thunderstorm cloud, hitting the ground, spreading out. As it does that, this could be a focal point for more showers to develop, and that's exactly what we see going on right here. The flow is blowing these back toward us in Palm Bay, Satellite Beach. Again, there's a lot of extra drier air in place in the mid-levels of our atmosphere. So as we are seeing these storms go up, kind of sucks in some of that drier air, and they fizzle out pretty quickly tonight. Future radar, though, doing a nice job pinpointing where those storms are. So 6, 7 o'clock, they kind of blow back off the Atlantic coast. I think it's a little aggressive on some of the stuff you see by Palm Bay, Mico, and Yeehaw Junction. Nonetheless, we are going to do a little bit extra dodging by 7 to 8 o'clock tonight. The further south and east of Kissimmee and St. Cloud you are, there's 1 o'clock on your Tuesday afternoon. I think a lot of us are still dry, a few passing clouds out there. And then once we hit 4 o'clock, we're going to notice some action there, especially along the 75 corridor, and then a few spots popping up along I-95. It's both sea breezes. Note what is dominant, though. It's the west coast sea breeze tomorrow, so we get that push from the westerly winds, and everything focuses along into the east of I-4. Very similar setup to what we're seeing out there tonight. So if you're getting wet tonight, you have a decent shot to get wet again tomorrow. There's 10 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. I think we're going to start things off dry and sunny. Here is a live look in Daytona Beach with our Daytona Toyota DeLand Kia Skycam. We have air temperatures around 80, the breeze out of the north at about 15 miles an hour. Rain-cooled air in Sanford and DeLand, we're at 77 in both spots tonight. 81 at the Cape, 89 degrees in Kissimmee. Now here's a look at your Pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
Back to around 90 degrees in Bithlo and in Kissimmee tomorrow. We're at 88 degrees at Cape Canaveral. Again, on the drier side over the next few days, but slightly higher rain chances come back and play tomorrow. I showed you that on future radar. Not as wet, though, relatively speaking, as we head to the week ahead. And on the tropical front, we have that disturbance kind of pushing on land, bringing a big-time flood threat to the Carolinas. Gordon is also out there, but that poses no threat to land. It's going to be later down the road here, September 25th to the 1st. Climate Prediction Center has 2 areas highlighted. This area is what we're going to be watching for some potential shenanigans in the tropics as we turn the page into next week. There's a lot of stuff out there on social media. No one model is going to nail that down. We are way too far out, so just be cautious of what you read. 40% shot for storms on Wednesday. We're going to keep that 40% shot basically through the weekend, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Life is pretty much back to normal for the Lake Mary Little League All-Star team. We saw the Little League World Series champs welcome back to Central Florida as heroes with parades at Disney and in their hometown.
And those celebrations for the team not over. In fact, they just got a gift they won't be cashing in for a few years as well. So the team was invited to the governor's mansion in Tallahassee. Governor DeSantis posted some pictures of when the state welcomed the team there Friday. The governor, who himself played in the Little League World Series as a kid, or actually played Little League Baseball. I don't know if, was he?
He went to the World Series.
Maybe he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did go to the Little League World Series. Good for him. He offered some insight to the team about remembering this incredible run.
And I told them, I mean, who knows what they're going to do? But they played, there was like 30,000 people for that game, for a Little League game. And I told the kids, I was like, unless you make it to the College World Series in Omaha, or unless you make it to the big leagues, you will never play in front of more people than that. It's just the way baseball is. You're just not going to get crowds of that magnitude. And so that's a pretty big stage, and they really did this community proud, and they did the state of Florida proud. So so that was the least that we can do. But what we're also able to do through the Florida prepaid college plan is we were able to award every member of the Lake Mary Little League World Series team a prepaid scholarship for 2 years at any Florida university or college.
I love that. You get a scholarship. You get a scholarship.
Pays to be good at baseball even when you're 12. And by the way, so then on Saturday, the kids from Lake Mary got to go check out the Florida State baseball field, talk to the coach, go check out all the complex there. And then before the FSU football game, they were on the field as well, and they couldn't bring that winning streak that they had, the winning attitude for the Noles.
They tried.
The Noles just, they're struggling. So, but yeah, what a great weekend in Tallahassee.
Their summer is continuing into the fall. I love it. News 6 insiders still have time to enter to win a baseball signed by the entire Lake Mary Little League team. We're giving away 2 of them to 2 lucky insiders. You can enter as many times as you want through next Monday. If you are not an insider already, it is free to sign up. Don't forget to verify your email address when you sign up, or your entry will not count.
Well, it is officially Hispanic Heritage Month, and we're showcasing and celebrating from our newsroom and beyond.
Coming up, we're talking about those who created change and why the month of celebration falls between September and October.
Also ahead, helping children dealing with the unimaginable and making them feel like kids again. We show you how one organization is getting results for children with terminal illnesses when News 6 at 6:30 continues. Stay with us. Well, it is officially Hispanic Heritage Month, and it started yesterday. It runs all the way through October 15th.
So today on Breakfast with Bridget, News 6 anchor Bridget Ellison spoke with News 6 mornings reporter Ezzy Castro, and she talked about a story she's working on about a law enforcement officer who is also a trailblazer. They also talked about the history of Hispanic Heritage Month and explained why it falls between September and October.
Just yesterday, we know that there were several countries, especially in Central America, that just had their Independence Day. Today is Mexico's Independence Day. So, I mean, it's just the kickoff to a lot of these countries and their Independence Day and what that means for them. So I think, I mean, it's just a celebration overall, but I'm glad that you said that because this is not just the opportunity to, to eat the food and dance the music. I think it's an opportunity to learn and educate yourself about the history.
And each one has different cultural, it's a really cool thing once you kind of this is how we do it in Puerto Rico. It's a really cool thing, and having Ezzy as someone who can sort of articulate that and to be around someone like that is great.
And explaining why we celebrate it now, because it is a little confusing that it starts in the middle of September and goes through October, but today is Mexico's Independence Day, which a lot of people think is Cinco de Mayo, but it's not.
That's true.
So you can catch Breakfast with Bridget live weekday mornings at 7:30 on the News 6 streaming app for your smart TV and clickorlando.com. And check out this pin from one of our Pin It users. This is some decorations from the Markham Woods Middle School Library. They say the volunteers decorate monthly for fun on inclusive holidays. And open your camera app, scan that QR code you see right there on your screen and click the link. It will take you to our website so you can send us your pictures and videos celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. And they may end up right here on TV. You can also go to clickorlando.com/pins and upload your pictures and videos that way.
One of the most important parts of being a kid is just being a kid, right? And having fun. But that isn't so easy for those who are sick. So organizations like A Kid Again are making it possible for children and their families to spend time together outside of a doctor's office. The organization serves children with life-threatening conditions. Over the weekend, A Kid Again gave children and their families the opportunity to just enjoy the day through different activities like making their own crayons. News 6's Emily McLeod went to the event yesterday. She spoke to some families who say this experience was one they won't forget.
To come here and to be a family and have fun. Tell me, how does that feel?
It feels amazing. I was super excited to bring her today, and that's right, and just have fun.
Yeah.
Just be a kid and not be doing those things that, we do like throughout the week, all the therapies and stuff like that.
So not only was this event a chance to spend time outside of the house or the doctor's office, but it's also an opportunity to connect and engage with others.
When a family is going through a difficult medical journey, it isn't just the ill child, it is the parents and it's the siblings. And so being able to not think about that next hospital visit or doctor's appointment is really powerful, where they just get to come together, meet other families that are going through similar medical journeys and just have fun.
And A Kid Again says it wants to have more events in the near future. I love that. They are doing that, and the engagement factor and the relatability to have someone and to create those relationships with other families who are also dealing with something similar, because you feel like you're on an island, like nobody understands, and it's great to have those. Love that. And to give, at Crayola experience, that's a great place to be a kid.
It really is, yes. And there's, something for everyone at Crayola Experience. It's nice to see them doing that.
Love that.
Well, thanks for watching News 6 at 6:30. You can stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
We break news on clickorlando.com. We'll be back at 11. Take care.
Good night.